Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Brian here with Mana Beast, and over to my left,
it's James.
And Tom, or Panda.
Whatever works good.
Yeah.
Who are card gamers in the community who play the DBZ card game. And we were like, hey, let's talk about the card game.
It's awesome.
And what we like and what we don't like, and the meta and all that stuff.
Kind of
like
everything everyone's talking about. But we're going to summarize how we feel about it. Yeah. Get some feedback. Because we feel like talking.
Like a state of the meta. We like to talk.
We
We
like
talk
to
all the
talk,
time. Real talk. So, I guess starting off, we want to talk about just generally what we think about the game starting out with set one. What do you think, James?
I love it. I played GT when I was younger. That was about the only experience with the Dragon Ball card game I had before that. When I heard the new game was coming out, I was really excited. I kind of waited to see if people were going to pick it up, which was a mistake. It took me a long time to get starters, so I think everyone understands that struggle. Yeah. But I got a hold of it, picked everything up, started playing the game, figuring out what worked, what didn't work, and just started playing from DBZ. I think they've done a very good job. It definitely feels a lot more balanced than the previous games. I mean, there are some things I don't agree with so far, but we'll get into that a little bit further. But overall, it's a fantastic set one. It feels a lot more balanced than most card games. Even though some people probably disagree with me, I'll argue with you right back.
We'll
get to that. So I love it. So
yeah, I mean, exactly. You know, I had a little bit of experience with the last game. Kind of got into it, and you know, this is awesome. I basically quit 3 other card games just to play this game.
It's so it better be a good game.
Yeah, it's great. Like I love everything about it. It's like I said, it's really fair. Like it can be, and yeah, most of the time. I really love the art. Like the still shots they got from the show were awesome.
Like match up really perfectly to the card.
It's great because like back in the old set it was like this is so and so's da da da. It's like that's not even that guy. Like, this is what the like it's really good. Like it's really good. Like, you know, I do have a couple complaints too, but other than that, like, it's really awesome. It's like all the colors seem decently playable, but it's good game. It's a good game. It's a good game.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, everybody who watches the channel. I mean, I'm big into Vanguard, and I played Vanguard with Tom, and I played Guards games for a while, and you know, from Magic to Star Wars to now Vanguard and now DBZ, and I from a competitive standpoint, I'm getting more into Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I still play Vanguard, I'll still play other games, but to me, from a competitive standpoint, for set one, this is the game I'm getting deep in and trying to understand the meta and learn the plays, because it for a first set, I was just amazed, like how. I mean, it's never going to be perfectly balanced, but for a set one card game made by humans,
there are a lot of things that are playable, which generally, like, obviously, I mean, Ginyu is very good. He's hands down the best personality in the set.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean other decks aren't playable. And it doesn't mean that they won't have the tools during the next set, which I think is the biggest thing that I want players to understand, especially with the meta talk and, like, especially with the Namekian nerf. Like, with one set in a card game, some things are going to be better than others. And right now it's Ginyu and Piccolo. And there are other decks that are playable, but I think that people just need to accept that. It'll change. The next set will come out.
Yeah.
You'll be able to play your Saiyan and your Ray. You know, you'll be able to play your other decks that you want to play. You'll get more tools. But you only have limited resources right now.
Yeah.
And if you want to play a game competitively, you take your best resources and you put them together. And that's how you win. And that's just what Ginyu does. He's Ninja by himself. You know, he fits in any shelf. Some better than others. But he's just good. Like, that's just all there is to it. So.
Well, and you've got to give a new, well, it's not new, but, you know, a reboot of a card game, at least 3 sets.
Right,
3 sets to get it right. Because first set, they're like, well, we messed that up. And second set, they're like, well, okay, we passed a little bit. But then third set, like, they know what they're doing.
Right.
By the third set, if they're still doing the same mistakes, like, it's not going to be worth it in the long run.
Right.
But if they've at least fixed everything, and they've put out enough to where there's an actual meta, like, that isn't just, like, 1 or 2 decks.
Right.
They fixed it. Like, that's what I want to get to. That's what I'm hoping that Panini realizes and that they're going to do.
And you were talking about like the Namekian nerf a little bit, and I wanted to get into that. Like, what do you guys think? Because you know, for the longest time, everyone was complaining about Namekian style. Everyone had issues with it, and so Panini released the nerf, and I've heard both people say, yeah, it's great. I've heard people say it wasn't needed, and I've heard other people complain and say, no, it's unfair. And what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I got into the game luckily after the errata. I was
you
like,
don't know how,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
You don't
I mean,
know
like
the sadness.
I watched the videos. That's basically how I learned how to play. Was lose to this guy and watch his videos. Like teach me. Ah, oh God, no.
Hurt my butt.
And I lose to both these guys. I'm still living. So it's great. But no, like I got into the game or started playing right after that nerf. I think the deck is still really fair and being really good. But I feel like I probably wouldn't have had like the same intro experience if everybody was running Piccolo. I mean, everyone's running Ginyu, but I don't know. Like Namekian seems like it could have been a much more dangerous threat.
It was definitely
To, like,
much more
me getting
powerful.
it.
It was
Yeah.
definitely much more
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, that's what I hear from everybody.
Do I think it was broken? Like, okay, from the standpoint of yes, you can just pass combat, gain some anger. It's only one anger. Like,
Yeah.
it does allow to do things without entering combat. And I feel like in this game, they want players to enter combat. It definitely
Right.
feels very combat focused.
Oh, goddamn.
Did I think it was unbeatable? No. Did it have very good matchups and was it a tough deck to beat for almost everything? Yes. However, Blue kept that deck in check.
Oh yeah.
Blue kept that deck in check. Like, when the Namekian going against Blue, anything is going to struggle. Especially with cards like Edna.
Blue had no. Oh god.
That meaning if you decide to play it, Dragon Ball 2, Devastating Blows, like you got all these cards that are like really hateful towards that. And yeah, so. But it definitely did give everything else a hard time. I think people panicked a little too early, especially because I think Ginyu was stronger than Namekian and Piccolo. I understand the nerf. Did I think it was needed? No, I wasn't having trouble. I've been playing Orange Ginyu for a while now, and I didn't feel like either deck was really favored. It felt even. So.
Yeah, and I think the reason they decided to nerf it is because I don't think that exact nerf was needed. I think something was needed because the only thing it promoted is that you've got decks like Black that they don't play the combat game necessarily. I mean, they will go into combat, but they're all about banishing and banning. But you are still required to play the game.
Right.
But there would be some Namekian players, especially like we talk about Namekian Gohan,
Yeah.
who would be like, I'm not even going to play the game. I'm literally going to sit here, stonewall you,
It's a
throw
level
out
4.
the Regen 4, throw out the Namekian Concentration, and gain the 2-anger. And to me,
Throw.
right throw, like that. To me, it promoted for a select few people a way of non-interactive gameplay, and then to me, I'm like, well, why are you playing the card game? But
Yeah.
you're always going to have those people. But I don't think those people were ruining the game.
No.
Those are the guys that play Burn.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like
Bad. That's not a bad thing to play. I mean,
No, it's not, but it's like,
it just made the game. Whoever was the opponent, it just wasn't fun because you're
Right.
just sitting there going,
yeah.
okay. But then at a certain point, you're right. They're gonna lose advantage, and when you get to somebody like, for instance, Ginyu level 3 in any deck, and you just start hitting with allies,
You just
no
have
matter
to put
how much
pressure
block,
on.
no matter how much block they
it
have, they're
forced
gonna
you to
die.
be aggressive, and if you were playing a deck that wasn't, it was a bad day for you.
Right. Yeah. You played Black against Piccolo.
But even then, their
it was
banish
rough.
effects can be
True.
very helpful at times. Like you just have to play more aggressively, and it was definitely a hard deck to be. It was very good. I still think the Namekian's very good.
Oh, I do too.
Oh,
It
yeah.
still
No.
beats everything else. Still struggles against
really
it.
good.
I mean, it brought the power down a little bit, but I didn't think it was needed. That's fine.
It's the same deck, you just smack in the face too.
Right, and I think anybody.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I just say anybody who plays Namekian and is a good player, I don't think it affects them because they're still going to be
Right.
playing and gaining anger from rejuvenating.
I hope
Yeah.
that during the next set they get cards that are a little more damaging, because I feel like that's what it lacks right now. Because when you're because blue stops the anger, but it can't really get a lot of damage in against blue because blue is so defensive, and not a lot of its cards do a lot of damage. Like they don't really go above 6. I don't think. Like Maximum Will does 6. I think.
Yeah.
Everything else does like 3 or 5.
They're all on hit, and they have a lot of on hit stuff, so
Right,
they
they
try
have
to
to on-hit
scare
stuff,
you with
right.
on hit effects. But
So many blocks.
the other thing too is that like when I'm playing against a Namekian player and you're talking about doing low damage and combos, the one thing they don't have actually is any ally or drill control.
Yeah.
So that's where if you're like an orange or a blue deck with
Right.
allies and setups and stuff with Ginyu,
Piccolo level 2 makes up for that weakness.
that
a
is
little
true.
bit,
That is true.
But they gain anger so quickly, like he gets off of it.
Yeah, if he can get to 3 against Piccolo, with
I'm
Namekian,
okay with him being on.
Then yeah,
I don't want him on 2.
Yeah, I don't want him on 2.
I'm like,
Yeah,
get off with 2, you asshole. Like,
They'll keep just throwing away like bad
playing blue,
setups.
I'm like, raise your anger. Get off with it. I don't care. Like,
Yeah, that, and I think that's kind of getting another thing too about I think the best decks in the game are the games with good level 2s.
Oh.
If
yeah.
you have a good level 2,
I don't think that's actually dedicated or decided by the game itself, but the current meta.
Right.
Yeah.
Because every level 2,
level 2, if it's strong, is really strong.
Really good.
It gets you ahead.
and if you suck like Frieza, then you're like, well, I'm gonna be stuck on 2 this whole
I'm gonna play
day.
Frieza. Oh. Welcome to DBZ.
Look at it.
But it's not bad. So
No.
that's the mech game. I hope they're gonna get more damage cards.
Yeah.
Yes, but you guys want to talk about Ginyu?
Let's come on.
Nastiest of nasty.
Come on, let's talk about. By the way, let's just let everyone know. Can we come to the front? We are the Ginyu Brotherhood. Let's just be
so
for
this
real.
is gonna sound biased. Obviously, it's gonna be biased.
So like the Aryan brother.
And it's not because I care about Ginyu at all.
We wear
I
hooded
don't-
hoods with horn spikes. Yeah.
Do we?
Shit.
I don't want to single myself out anymore. When I sit down and play Ginyu, I'm like,
oh.
Yeah.
sorry, this is
Sorry.
a tournament. Like,
Yeah.
You're one of those people. Yeah.
I play Ginyu because it wins. Like, and I'm not gonna lie to you about it. Like, but again, it comes back to the competitive standpoint of a card game. If I'm gonna go to a tournament and play a card game, and my goal is to win, I'm gonna give myself the best opportunity to do that. Ginyu come up with all flavors: red, black, orange, blue.
I'll give you
This is
plus
good.
color go. Yeah.
It's because there's a game on his own.
Yeah.
Like,
And he has the freestyle cards that
Right.
help him do like a little powered attack, so he can be thrown in anything
Yeah.
really.
right.
Yeah. It's gross.
Do I think it needs to be toned down? No. Next set, they just need to release something
Better.
well, for one, they need to give other like the reason why Ginyu works best in red, blue, and orange. I think is because they have the banished ally card effects.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like red has red observation, which like when they get 3 or 4 allies in play, you're like, sorry about that.
Yeah.
There goes all those. Orange can fetch.
Yeah.
So can blue can also fetch it with blue terror. Orange can fetch it with orange uppercut. Which that card.
Orange uppercut,
Orange
dude.
uppercut
That's
is a disgusting card.
because when you see that come out, and then tell me the card you fetch out, you hoe. Tell me the exact
You
card.
go stare
orange-
down, or you fetch.
No, you don't fetch stare down.
Or the
Don't
one
lie to
that's
me.
what's it called that does 3 damage?
The-
or 2 damage.
the,
Does 3 with the
Yeah.
match.
Orange stare down or.
No, the one that throws.
Then you fetch another one.
Orange. I don't remember. Orange something 2 words. It's got Vegeta and he's like, ah!
He's throwing a little ball, and it's the
It
one.
does
you
2
just
life
fetch.
cards.
Yeah.
You can pay in one stage, and you can fetch another one. But in the miracle that is orange.
The hallelujah.
That's 7
If
if
you're
you
at
block with
Ginyu
Goldo.
level 3 and you block with Goldo,
That's
and
9.
you happen to have a drill in play,
And
you're
burger.
doing inverter. Like,
Murder. That's 9.
granted, with
4
through
stages.
combat,
Ooh.
sometimes you're only gonna fetch 1 because you might take some damage.
Yeah.
But you get 1 or 2, and they can do 7 to 9, and it's just disgusting. Like, yeah. You
Like
know,
even in early game 9, like I've gotten that card super early is a super good plus for you. Just 9 to
because
the
you're
face.
just gonna take because they're not gonna block it.
Right, and
They're
it's
not
just gonna
it's 3
chip
a
away
time.
at it,
Just chips
so-
away at them. You're paying 3 power stages for 9 damage. You don't get a crit, but that's a lot of damage. Like, and you just play it.
That's
a lot of
a sixth of
damage,
their
and
deck
Tons of
almost
damage.
gone.
But and you can. I've done it early. Like fetch Goldo. I block with Goldo. Have it in my hand. And do it 5. Like that's
Did that early,
there, Like
yeah.
that happens. The card's retarded.
It's
Orange
really good.
also, just their base damage with their mastery is always 5 to 6. 5 is the bare minimum for critting. When you start doing 6, your chances of getting a crit are very, very good. Like, and just the fact that it makes Ginyu crit naturally,
Right off level 1.
right off the level
Yeah,
1,
right off
but
level
like
1.
Attack you? Crit?
your
Well,
overpower your attacks to 6, like for 2 stages. Like, it's disgusting. Blue Ginyu is also very good. Obviously, it's not as aggressive
Yeah,
as orange,
No.
but it's the opposite
Gets the
end of
job done.
defensive.
right.
Like in Blue Ginyu, you want to be defensive, and Ginyu in your case is your pressure. You have a steady clock on him, and you just hang out, block stuff.
it's actually.
And it's a control deck. It's
It
really
very is,
control.
very
Yeah,
controlling.
that's the deck that got when I first lost too.
That was
I
probably
was
not
playing.
fun, really.
I was playing blue Krillin. And I was like, oh yeah, red Vegeta. Nah, and I played another blue Krillin player and beat him. And was like, yeah. Or I was playing black Krillin. I was like, yeah, black Krillin's awesome. Yeah, blue Ginyu. What's that? Oh,
Speaking of Black Krillin, that's actually a deck I've been considering.
it's
And I
really
think it's good. You have to play the promo code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, especially in the Blue Ginyu matchup, and this is just theory crafting, I actually play it yet. You get a free critical damage effect every turn. It
Yeah.
almost punishes
Yeah.
blue for using its mastery because they're discarding it.
Exactly. They have
And you can
to.
get rid of an ally. I feel like kind of the stars have to align with black sometimes because you're not always going to banish their allies. But if you get like searching technique out early, or
Black
like, you-
reflections.
or put something in the graveyard
Black
early and
reflections.
remove it, like, that can help you. And it's not unbeatable.
No.
But I think that's another viable deck. Blue Krillin is also viable.
Orange Krillin.
Yeah. And that's where, you know, as much as people complain about Ginyu,
I've lost to those decks.
and I've lost those decks, and we have people, you know, Kevin, our locals, he'll deck theory too. He'll play he played a really good Red Vegeta. He
was beating everybody with that.
Yeah,
deck.
with that
I don't
Red
know why he stopped
Vegeta.
playing because like everyone else has to play Red Vegeta, like they're like, oh, this is terrible. But I remember when I played Adam's Red Vegeta, he was just like kicking the shit out of me, and I don't understand where. Like,
It's just
I
angry.
try and play it, and it's just like no, like, it's not gonna work. But
Well, and that's the other thing too. You know, sometimes you don't get the draws, but you know when it comes down to it, I think you said it perfectly. You know, I play in Vanguard, and for a while, League Jokers were like it would lock your field or Yu-Gi-Oh, Shadow. Well, they're coming back, but
I know.
and Yu-Gi-Oh Shadows are like the thing, and everyone's playing them. You will never have a card game in which there will not be a popular character, format, color. It's just how it's going to be, and I would say if that's your complaint, then don't get into any card game because that'll always be the case.
don't get into a card game competitively.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the other
yeah.
thing too. Is like people that show up to tournaments locally just want to play casually, and there's like 8 players, and we have 5 Ginyu decks or 4 Ginyu decks top. It's like obviously somebody wanted to play casually, and they're like, "Oh, you're playing Ginyu." Oops. I mean, it happens. Like it's gonna happen. But for that person to be like, "Well, I was playing this deck because I wanted to, not because it's the good deck, but because I want this deck to like theory it out and test it."
Yeah.
You know. But for someone to go like that and then be like, "Well, yeah, you're playing Ginyu," that's where the line gets drawn. You can say that, but you're not playing Ginyu. So that's why you pretty much lost the match yourself. Like you can't.
How it's gonna go.
You can't like complain about it.
But you have to build. Here's the thing: you got to build your deck around it. I mean,
Yeah.
any card game you play. I mean, if you have a top meta deck, I'll have people that don't play decks. They're like, well, I don't run blue betrayals. I don't run. I have to. You have to, or I don't run devastating blows. Right? I was like, those are like necessity cards, staples to stop any deck out there. Because I'm telling you, the second you get one of my allies in the discard pile from it, and then you do the second you do like, hey, a crit effect, it's in the damage zone. My turn, devastating blow.
Right. It deals.
Throw 2 or 3 of them away. I mean,
it hates like it's just a catch-all. Like just cards like devastating blow, and they just do like you don't play because you do damage. You just go, okay, here we go. Now I was just thinking about this too, talking about cards like that. This is where I wish the game had a sideboard.
Yeah.
I want so desperately for a sideboard.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, I don't think I can change a whole lot right now, but I don't always want to run Devastating Blow in a lot of my deck. I don't always want to run Dragon Ball 2 or Dragon Ball 4. But sometimes you have to, depending on your meta. And it can cause your deck to be more clunky. I've heard from the previous game that Sensei decks that you pick 3 and then take the random one.
Right.
Please, Panini, if you ever watch this video,
Yes.
for the love of God, don't do that.
No.
Yeah.
I will quit so fast.
No.
Like, I'd rather have no sideboard than that. Because that's just so... it's just RNG out the ass. Like, it's just like...
It's randomness.
I don't like that. Like, reduce randomness in it. Some randomness is fun. Don't get me wrong. I play
Well, yeah, you have to have RNG.
That game is random as hell sometimes. And it's fun, whatever. I get way too into that game too. But that's just... It takes a lot of skill and strategy out of the game when you do it that way. And I don't think that'd be fun. The other thing that I've read they stopped doing is errating stuff.
Yes.
Like,
Print the card. Make sure it's good.
Good verbiage. That's the other thing.
yeah, they've goofed a couple words that are confusing. Like errating, I don't like what happens when someone shows up to a tournament. They're not aware of their erratas. They build a deck around. They're like, oh, we're making the giant. Okay. They show up with that deck that now doesn't work.
Right.
And they're like, well, and that can happen a lot. Like that's another thing I will leave a game for. Is if they keep errating stuff. Because I want to keep track of that. I don't want to have a return white on it. That doesn't know it every time in a tournament. Like, I don't want to 16 people. Like,
Well, that's the good thing about the group too. Our Wichita group is the fact that you guys, I saw today, because you updated it. You have that doc that is like, hey guys, here's all the errata shit. Like, it's right there.
right. Or
So-
just questions we've had about
more
which
questions.
is really helpful for
So it's really good because like if someone shows up like that and they're like, oh, there's an errata? Yeah, go to the page, dude. You're on the page,
Right,
right?
or print it
Yeah.
off or have it available.
Ta-da!
And that's
Solves that
that's
issue
that's
immediately.
that's where too you have to have a solid community like that.
Yeah.
To be able to build around. That's why I encourage anybody who's part of a group, build. I mean, I actually said bye to one of the guys, Vu and
Toby.
Toby
Yeah.
were the guys who actually discovered our recent issue we had with one of the Ginyu decks. And I legitimately at first was like, oh no, that's not how it works. And I looked it up and ruled it. I talked to some people that some regular people, and we were wrong, but that's the whole fact. Is since you have a community like that,
Right.
then you're able to have people who come in and ask questions and go, "Hey, you're an idiot," and you're like, "Oh, man, I am an idiot. Hey, thanks for showing me."
What's
my
really funny is
ways."
you guys found out that Rolling Door one of my games and actually helped my game. Because it says I was playing and I was like, oh snap, I can do this now. Cool, I'm gonna do that. And I was able to come back.
Nice.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
Game's
Sorry,
good.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Well, what are though? Because we talked about we know Namekian and Piccolo, and Ginyu with all the colors are good. Like, what in your opinion are viable decks? What other decks do you think you guys
I
think are
mean,
viable?
I like decks that can either play the control game without stalling. 'Cause, like, if you stall, like you said earlier, if you stall in this game too long, you're gonna lose.
Right.
But if you can at least keep the pace going, like blue or black or orange, like those are three really good colors. Like red's really good at doing that too, where it's just like attack you every turn.
Yeah.
I mean, I got hit with 52 stages by Saiyan. Like,
It can do it. It's
It can
just
do it, but
Saiyan
it's
has
not
the
consistent.
consistency.
Yeah.
And it doesn't like because there's again it goes back to the resources thing. There's only
Yeah.
so many cards we have right now. And
Exactly.
Saiyan itself doesn't
It
have the
needs
card.
something.
Like it needs one and NP that fits well in it.
Yeah.
And that's why Ginyu is cool, is because it allows all colors to be like certain colors do what they're supposed to do because it just fits. Whereas Saiyan, you can't play Goku.
it's no.
Unless you had just a busted drill that you could have used.
Yeah,
which
or unless you're a God Goku, but he doesn't even
I
have
mean,
any
if
good
they bring out
drills to run.
Goten, then you could
you
fit on
can't.
Saiyan.
You
That would
could
be
play
nice.
Gohan, but he's small. Vegeta's small. That's the biggest problem with Vegeta, is the fact that Ginyu level 1 and 2 is
Small.
bigger than like Vegeta.
He's
Yeah.
bigger than Frieza. Like,
Yeah,
He's
well,
so
like, how
tiny.
to explain that in the meta? How is Ginyu bigger than Frick? Okay, whatever.
Like I don't get it, but. And that's like so again back to the level 2 thing. That's so important. Level 1 and 2 are so important
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
game. Like Vegeta 3 and 4 are really good. So are
Yeah, but you
Frieza
gotta
3 and
get the
4.
Yeah, when you get to 3,
You gotta get there.
I'm telling you, if I can reliably get to Frieza 4 or Frieza 3, no problem, I would run the heck out of it.
Right.
But yeah, the problem is you stall out, and then at a certain point you lose an advantage, and the other deck's just gonna.
Right.
like, in your Red Frieza deck, though, you could Red Escape up to 3, but the problem with that is you have to rely on a block, and then you have to rely on the fact that, hey, I'm going down at the end of this turn. Like, I'm not going down 3 anymore.
Right.
Crap.
Then you have to go to 3
You
to
have to
4
rely
to
on
go back
3
there.
cards in your deck to get you
Yeah.
there, to then
It's
go
a-
back a step. It's like, ugh.
But as far as archetypes go, that I think are good. I've been thinking a lot about Black Krillin.
Yeah.
Just the critical
It's
damage
good.
effect every turn. It's good against Dragon Ball decks. It's good against Anger, which targets Piccolo. It's good against allies. You can discard and you have a lot of banishing effects to combo that with.
Yeah, lots.
I'm not sure if I'd play it with allies. Anyway, we can get that deck later on. But Blue Krillin is very good. We actually
What's
have
the
an
promo?
actual local player here that plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, all Krillin. We're just assuming all Krillin is promo. It's level 2.
It's $5.
Krillin has
Like,
to
go get it.
has to stay on level 1 for that critical damage effect every turn.
Yeah.
So good.
And Blue has so many good drills too.
Right.
Along
Oh,
with
God.
that, you know,
Right.
like Blue biting drill
Blue
plus 2
biting
to your
drill.
damage,
Right.
being able to see their hand, you know,
Right.
like so.
It's good.
There is a Blue Dragon Ball deck that floats around our meta that
Yeah.
is very good. Obviously, like any deck in this format, because it's so combat heavy, if you run a lot of non-combats, you open yourself to the susceptibility of having a bad combat. But I like all decks in that genre are going to fall weak to that because again, those aren't enough resources. But he beats me with it, and like it's just good. Like you just play a lot of very defensive stuff, play some allies, hang out with Krillin,
Yeah.
keep Dragon Balls in play. If they play Dragon Balls, take theirs. I lost
Yeah.
to it. Like, I think you can play a Blue Krillin ally. I actually have it built. It's fun. I was playtesting against Black Ginyu, and it was very close. Again, Black Krillin, Piccolo and Namekian, Gohan and Namekian is still good.
Yeah, it is.
Orange Krillin is actually a lot of fun.
Oh my god.
Orange Uppercut and the Destructo disc
It's
for a
so
crit
much
is just
fun.
nasty. Like,
It's
And
so
every
much
time you
fun.
get a crit, you throw out
I
drills.
took 7th place yesterday,
And it
but
protects
it was
your drills,
so
like,
much
yeah.
fun. Like
Like,
that one turn against Saiyan, like it was really close. There's just like 52 stages of
Right.
damage. Oh, you're at 0? That's the 52 life cards.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, that's what I think. I would be
Bad.
interested in, and you're talking about the Dragon Ball deck with Krillin. I would be interested because
There's
I
so
think
much
a Dragon Ball deck. I think there's going to be somebody who will build a busted Dragon Ball deck because out of any of the win conditions, Dragon Balls are the most durable. Unless they're on the field, they go nowhere.
right.
I mean, there are a few cards that can mess with them, but in reality, you could take all the life card damage in the world, and Jonathan Schwer.
Yeah.
He was playing a blue guy Goku deck with the Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
Was this had he gotten one different Dragon Ball, he
lost
would have
it,
won
yeah.
by Dragon Ball.
I realized.
Because you can get punched and lose all your life cards, and then as long as you have enough cards, draw them all, put them out. You can end game that so quick.
Yeah. I had actually the reason why I stopped playing Blue Ginyu because I originally played Orange, loved it. I was like, I'm gonna play Blue Ginyu.
It's really fun.
Was because of Dragon Balls. Because I think Blue Ginyu lacks that push, whereas Orange can just be like,
Right.
I don't
Orange
care
launcher.
how defensive you are. Like I'm just gonna come after you. Like, but what's cool about Blue Krillin is you get the critical damage effect every turn. And you have Blue Trick. So even if your balls get banished, you're taking
Right,
you're
or you go
take
against
them
the
right
Namekian
back.
or
You're
whatever,
gonna get
yeah.
a free critical damage effect every combat. So you're gonna protect your balls that way.
You gotta protect your balls.
You gotta wear your cup. The Krillin has a built-in cup.
He does.
But and then you just have like blue tricks and stuff like that. I think the coolest thing it's kind of a niche interaction like level 3 Goku with blue is getting back the setup so again.
That's true.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun.
Nice.
I was interesting. He started doing it to me and he was recurring his attacks and his like other things.
Like blue key build up and
Stretch kick.
Stretch kick.
Stretch kick's very good.
Dude, they're really good. It's at +5
Yeah.
and Raisin Anger.
It's
Or
plus
lower,
6.
it's
It's
plus
plus
6
6?
and lower anger, and
Right.
key build up is 2 stages for 7
Seven
life
life
cards,
cards.
and Raisin Anger.
Oh.
Right. And of course you have blue lunge, which puts them into play.
Blue
Like,
Lunge is so-
I want that deck to be good. It needs a little more. The blue setup deck. Nappa is that
Dude,
deck.
Nappa.
But I mean, you still have blue trails.
Well, that's
Yeah.
like kind of touching back on the Ginyu. I have a lot of people say that have talked to me. Well, don't run Nappa. Don't run Nappa. And the point of it is, when it comes down to it, Nappa is going to hurt them just as much or more than it hurts you. Yeah, I can't run Times Warriors Tool, and I might not be able to run Village Visage or any of those other setups, but I'm okay with it because at that point it's yeah,
you
you'll
mean
tutor
just
it
white
out
top?
and or do a blue farewell if you really need
Yeah.
to get rid of it.
If you-
So you're in control of it, and you make them then retire it before they do your gold and your other stuff. So why
Right.
not make it a target for them?
Right.
You mean Visiting the Past, right? When Times Warriors?
Oh, Visible, you're right. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah, Visiting the
Yeah.
Past reminded
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
That reminded me actually of you both saying Devastating Blow time Visiting the Past. Like the reason Devastating Blow is such a good
Right,
staple is
because Visiting the
because
Past is really
everybody's like Visiting the Past. Like,
And
I'm gonna-
especially
let's enter
because-
combat. Okay, pop Visiting the Past.
Fetch time.
Yeah,
Because
fetch time.
It doesn't banish itself, and if it goes in the yard.
Or
like-
stare downs. Stare downs. I love
Oh
going
my
like,
God,
oh, get another stare down. I
confrontation.
just used. bleh.
Confrontation stare downs like
it gets
it's,
yeah.
it's
And that's
a
why I
really good
like
card.
Nappa. I wouldn't if I couldn't fetch Nappa consistently with like Ginyu level 1 or like Gold Dragon attacks.
Right.
I wouldn't play him because it's so random. Like
Right.
I would go back to playing these with Bass and build us Societies. But I actually
Yeah.
cut those cards because I love Nappa so much. Because he's just a dick. Like he just shows up and you're like, sorry about
See, and that's what I did. I in my blue Ginyu did. I've cut it down to 2 Visiting the Past and 1 Village Visage. Those are the only
Yeah.
setups I wrote because they're stables. To me, if I get those off, it's great. And I can choose to bring Nappa if I
Right.
want to. I don't.
Yeah,
if
you
I have
have
2
to. You have the
Visiting the
option.
Past on board, I'm like, I won't bring him out yet because he doesn't. The only thing he helps me is his stop setups, and then after that, I'll bring him out.
Well, plus, and when they see you playing Ginyu, they're not going to search for Nappa first.
No. Yeah.
So you can be like, Visiting the Past, and they're like, oh, you play that card.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Do you want to enter combat? No? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good
That's-
card. And that's kind of where there's also a line drawn there, too. Like, people either really love it or really hate it, or
Same
they're.
with Visiting the Past.
Visiting the
Yeah,
Past,
and that's like I'm one of the people who loves it. I run.
the card's very good.
I think
It's
it is.
really
I think
good.
it is too, because just the card advantage it gives you over somebody, especially in the combats where you want to. I mean, literally, you just get to choose. And the thing that sucks is before you go into combat, depending on what you have in your hand, you can be more
Oh.
defensive, more aggressive, more. I mean,
Right.
you're
Yeah.
able to like meter your hand out. So whatever 3 you draw, you're able to guard or do attacks or be
Yeah.
aggressive to that other player. Like when I get to 3 on Ginyu, I'll get an attack all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll have 5 cards in my hand. And I'm just gonna be pushing you in the face because
Talk
I
about
can
how
block.
blessed Galdo is.
Oh my
Galdo
god!
Galdo is the combination of 4 different cards in one. Like in Orange, you have to have Birder, your drill, and both your block drills just to have
Yeah.
a Galdo. I mean, granted, you get 2 more blocks. But
Yeah.
like Galdo
But
is
Jesus,
just
like.
that card.
so
They should have
good.
printed that card.
Plus, you know what sucks about it?
Galdo should just say stop a physical energy.
I don't even want to because there are turns I would literally be against a Ginyu and I'm like,
I don't want to.
I don't even want to
Yeah,
touch
yeah.
you. I don't even want to. You're at 3.
You're safe in there.
Because you know if I know if I don't have enough guard and you have enough attack, that's gonna hurt my butt even more.
Or
So
if
I'm
they
just
have-
like I'm like turn. I'll have like 2 cards and I'm like turn in. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm like no.
Yeah.
You can hit me, but not for +2/+2. No.
Well, or you'll forget, too. You're like, dude, this card's really good. And And you're just like, oh yeah, whatever, they're something. It's inner combat, okay. Ha, block with Goldo. Oh, that's right.
You gotta.
And then they're just like,
I think another thing that's really off-putting, and this is probably going to sound rude about playing against Ginyu, is there are actually a lot of choices that have to be made against Ginyu.
Yeah.
Especially you have to pay attention to what fire stages you got, what allies you're playing with. You have to keep track of all of that because being late in like at 3 or 4 in anger and going from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, like you have to keep track of those plays your opponent can be playing.
and mitigating their stages too. Like,
Right.
They could have anything in hand.
Sometimes
they could be at
you
6.
don't want to put them below.
Yeah.
Right,
1
and
or
that's
0.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
They could be at
Because you
6 and they
don't wanna
hold
turn on
2
Goldo.
power points in their hand. You're just like, well, another done.
Oops.
Well, that's what you were saying too. That I thought was key about using Captain Ginyu's body switch. Him and I had a really good
That
game
game
where
was fun when they're like, who's gonna play body switch
That was
first?
so
Like,
funny. That was so great. We just kept passing and keeping the card.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I'm gonna go with anger. Are you gonna do it? Now I'm at 3.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
That
is too is James
was
and I
fun.
had a really solid game, and what I do like about the game, and this kind of speaks to the quality of the game, it was a 1 card difference, a 1 turn difference, a small switch. Probably would have put me over the edge in the other way, but I used Captain Ginyu's body switch too soon, and I went to 2, and I didn't end up getting like blue lunar rays or overpowering attacks, and I didn't have the allies. Now I was up before he ever was, but at that point I didn't gain the advantage. So to me, this speaks to the quality of the game, where it's like that decision is what made me lose. It wasn't necessarily the fact that he just had better draws. I just made a decision at the wrong time, and I should have waited a turn or 2.
And that's any card game. Like,
Yeah.
You can't just like you can play the deck and the deck will do what it does, but you also have to remember you're playing your opponent.
Right. You can't
like,
autopilot.
You can't autopilot this game, and like I feel like a lot of people are disgruntled about the fact they can't play Kimoki decks like the Orange Goku drill deck, and you can't play 20 drills a game.
No,
like this.
God no.
No.
You go into combat, it's like,
You're
pull all
gonna
3
die.
drills. Well,
Like-
I lose.
And that's how the game's designed. I'm sorry if you don't like that.
Yeah.
You got oops. Like, play
Well, it's consistency, and that's where
Right.
I think the game
That's
does
key.
succeed. Is that the whole idea of having 3 cards at any given time? Now, granted,
Yeah.
visiting the past or Black Smoothest Drill,
It's
you'll have
very
more.
limiting.
But
Black
the
Smoothest
fact
Drill is-
that you're like, there's never a turn because there's so many card games, especially Yu-Gi-Oh and Vanguard, where it's like in Yu-Gi-Oh, you have this hand, you're just like combo, search, main phase,
Right.
shoot, Exodia, and like. Well, crap! You had
Yeah.
50 cards, and for whatever reason, you had 20 potted dualities and got all the hand you needed. In this game, that's not the case. It's very fair in the fact that the cards you get are in your hands because you put them in your deck, and if you run too much of something or too little of something, and you don't have it in your hands, there are bad draws. But if you consistently get that means you just didn't build your deck right.
Exactly. Like you have to have a certain amount of non-combats. You have to have a certain amount of blocks. Like, and you can get away with it because he's got gold, or you can play less. But like, the numbers have to be there. And that's the first thing that I really figured out about this game was how to build a deck. Like,
Yeah.
you can't. I don't go above 10 non-combats. I might go to 11.
I mean,
I play 11 in my beginning deck, and that's the main reason I don't play a card like Visiting the Past is because I'm playing 5 allies.
Right.
5 drills in Dragon Ball 2. And that's why I don't play Visions of the Past. So and that's another reason why I do run Nappa, is because I don't get punished by it. And you can have all the Visions of the Past and all the Sages if you want. If you can't deal with this, you can't use them. And that's kind of a big choice. But I don't go above 10. I play 11 in my orange because I'm a giant hypocrite. But I would tell anyone 10 just because I hate losing to Becky.
Oh, God.
That Dragon Ball 2 is just for hate. It's just all the hate towards that deck. But 10 or 11. And then around blocks, 15 to 20.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
it's going to depend on the type
Including
of deck
your
you're playing,
drills.
whether or not be physical. I usually run less physical because everyone's
Right.
very energy combat heavy right now. Which hopefully, it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens when it comes out with Saiyan and Red. Because everyone's so used to energy combats, and that those physical decks get pushed over the top.
Right.
The fun thing about
It's
physicals
gonna
is
be-
they turn off energy at a certain point.
Right. Then you don't run as
You
many
hit
energy
0,
cards.
like once you hit 0, you don't get to play energy combats anymore, which I like that about physicals.
Kill Pain, brother.
It also makes your opponent's physicals smaller. So it's kind of cool how that it's aggressive, but it almost has a built-in defense sort of. It reaches that point.
Well, like, energies are good because they're just going to kill your deck.
They go straight.
But
right to the
physicals,
dome.
like, that's a debate that could just happen in a whole other video. It's energies and physicals. Like,
Yeah.
it's
That's
so...
an interesting dynamic.
It's
It is.
so
it is,
cool.
and that is the balance
It's
I
so
like
cool.
about the game. Is that the fact that they found a way to balance that mechanic of going. Yeah, you pay for energies, but then you have less physical, and then especially in Ginyu matches will be very important
Oh, yeah.
where your stages are at. So that's you just gotta like watch it because like you're like, And that's the other thing too. I'll go against these guys. I'm like, I'll have a physical, and normally against a deck, like I'll play them. Like it's at
just
plus,
sit there like-
it's at plus
I'm gonna
5.
put
What?
it on one. I'm not gonna
This,
do it.
this, like him and I have all the conversations. Like if we were to record them all, his biggest questions would be. How many levels above 0 are you? And I'm like, I'm at 4. He's like,
Same thing.
no, I'm playing that. Like, you sure you don't hit me? Because
Like,
like,
Bird-
I'll take it.
Bird makes it awkward sometimes. You're like, he uses his power, and he's at 3, and I'm like, uses Bird and he's gonna go to.
Yeah, even if it's an
That's
energy,
all.
even if it's an energy, he'll
like,
take it for 2 stages.
Damn it! You dick.
Well, it's like stare down. Oh, you've got a physical? Yeah, you can keep that. I don't care about that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take this energy out of your hand though. Oh man.
So is there anything that we personally don't like? Because we talk about others complain. Is there anything personally
Yeah,
you don't like about the
we
game
talked
you
about
think
the
you can
errata and how it's
improve in the
Everything
game?
I
you
talked
don't
about
like?
and already
Pretty
complained
much.
Yeah,
about.
pretty
Yeah.
much. Like I just wish Sam was stronger.
Yeah, that was a
Like,
disappointment. Saying needs to be
it's-
stronger.
it's gimmicky.
He
good.
doesn't have a personality.
It's
Trunks
really
is
gimmicky.
big enough. Trunks is big enough, but Trunks is level
huge.
2. Basically says that you're down a card. Yes, you get to manipulate the top of your deck. But if
Yeah.
you build your deck correctly, you shouldn't have to worry about that.
You need to be at level 3. You need to be at level 3.
Not having an attack at level 1 and 2 puts you down a card, essentially. Like, you're -1.
That is a
Especially
good
against
point.
a card like Ginyu, because
Ginyu,
I have a
Krillin.
guaranteed attack every
Yeah.
turn. Whereas
Every
you do
turn.
not.
Yeah, that you make a solid point, and that's the other thing about personalities. Personalities with built-in attacks are the better ones because
that's true.
you get extra cards. Because that
That's
was
your Piccolo, though.
what was funny is too is I was playing against a friend last night, and I was doing Ginyu's attacks, and then I did my allies, and he was like.
No cards.
And then I started playing from my. He's like, "Oh yeah, you have cards in your hand too." I'm like, "Yeah, I do." So even without allies, cards with inbred attacks on them, I think add a level of quality because you said it is like an extra card.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you're visiting by something.
Something that I
Yeah,
do
exactly.
have another complaint about is the fact that like the promos, I get why they did them. You know, it's the 2 most recognizable moves in this saga.
Sure.
You know,
Which promos are you talking about?
Gatling gun.
Galagun and Kamehameha.
The ones that
Like,
are given out at.
Those
at
are
Can
the
we
2.
talk about how bad Kamehameha is?
Yes.
Why
Thank
does why does
you.
Why does it say
Kamehameha have
stages?
stages?
It's such
Like,
a
I
bad
assumed it
card.
should say life cards,
Oh.
and I played it.
Yeah.
Thinking it said life cards, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, okay. I stopped reading it plus whatever it is, and I was like, it's just life cards. And I went to a tournament and I read it, and I was like, oh my god, this card is terrible.
Yeah.
Well, that's why people
Yeah.
run so many drills in old orange decks originally because like even I remember when Sean was building one of his, he would originally build it with a ton of drills because the idea was to get a ton of drills out then Kamehameha. Which in theory sounds good,
Cool.
but getting to that
Sad.
point, yeah, it doesn't matter how many more
drills
stages
you
you
have to
do.
Yeah.
You blow up all your drills, and unless you're on level 4 Goku, you just kind of go,
Like,
well, I blew my deck
That's
up.
a chief
Right.
complaint. Is the fact like I get why they did those cards as the promos, but they're so bad. And then the winning
Vegeta's
promos are
Yellow
really
Gun's not
good.
bad.
Well, no, that one's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Vegeta level 1 and 2 is bad.
Yeah.
So therefore, Vegeta's Yellow Gun doesn't get played because
No.
Vegeta's.
But that one's good. But they didn't put out another good promo with it. Like they could have out Krillin's Destructo Disc. I get why they
They did
did.
that next day.
I know, but I get why they did Goku and Vegeta because those were the 2 biggest
Right,
from the
right.
saga. Destructo Disc would have been amazing as a promo.
I'm just saying that because you love Krillin.
Yeah.
You love Krillin.
Jeez, man,
I
look at this
love
guy.
Krillin.
Look at this
I
guy.
have.
I want
have-
to promos getting you body
If I
switch.
do
Yeah.
6 thoughts in my head,
I mean, maybe.
what would happen?
He'd probably
I don't wanna know.
date you. He'd probably date you. You guys.
Don't walk around any dark
There, we'd be
alleys.
making a different video. I'm just gonna tell you. I'll tell you what would happen.
But that's my chief complaint. Like the ones that you get for winning are really good. Confrontation, awesome. The Times Warriors tool, awesome.
Like,
I hope the next one is a stare down promo.
It-
Like
it
if we don't
probably
get stare
will
down
be.
next, I'll be very sad. But it should be because getting in, I was like 3 confrontations, cool, done, day 1,
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Or sorry, I had 2, and then I packed another one, so it was like 3, whatever, awesome. Stare downs though.
Yeah.
Those were hard to get. Like,
That's because everyone's
luckily you had
Everyone's
2 extra.
playing it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was like, luckily
Right.
you had 2 extra, and I packed another one. But it was like pulling teeth trying to get these cards. I was
Yeah.
proxying stare downs as confrontations for like a good week. I've only been playing for like a week and a half.
That's-
but it was still really hard to get those.
Staple games. I mean, I feel
Staple
like
games.
DBZ is going to be a staple game.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Lots
Yeah.
about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
There's tons stuff like that. Like,
Well, that's why
Yu-Gi-Oh!
the set
staple
1 is so diverse. And where I guess one of my complaints would be is that we have a lot of good heroes. But I mean, legitimately, let's just be real. The only
One
amazing
good
villain
villain.
is Ginyu.
Yeah, like
you know,
Vegeta can be
Vegeta
good.
can.
Frieza, no.
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 Who's the other villain?
That's it.
Is that it?
I think there are 4.
No.
Frieza.
Frieza,
Frieza,
Ginyu.
Ginyu, and Vegeta. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have Piccolo, Gohan,
Goku, Trunks, and Krillin. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Because it's 8. Yeah, that's the other thing.
I mean, they could have made Raditz an MP, but it would have been one stage. Like,
it would have been.
It would have been. I don't even know.
It would have been like
It would
one.
have been 109,000.
I mean, I feel like they could have made Frieza better if they printed his allies. Like, not the Ginyu.
Yeah, Zarbon and
Zarbon, Dodora, and what's his nuts? That was yeah.
the guy that got killed by Vegeta.
Yeah, so, I mean, they all did.
That amazing guy.
Yeah, remember.
Yeah. I mean,
wasn't
actually,
worried about
Zarbon
that.
should have been an MP.
It wasn't in the previous game. I think
Yeah,
Warrior was.
he should have been an MP.
So, yeah,
I think he was an ally. I think he was an ally, but Zarbon wasn't an MP. He
Oh,
should
the
have
other
been
thing
an
that I almost forgot about this.
You're
Finish what
fine.
saying.
Well, pretty
no,
much I was
that's-
just saying is
that's
they need more villains, and I'd say more
Yes.
quality villains that could go up. Because right now, I mean, as much as I love Ginyu, I love diversity. I just like diversity.
I agree. I'm not swearing my legion to Ginyu. But
Oh, I mean, I'm swearing my allegiance, but he'll be my main lover.
Ginyu, we
But
trust.
I'll have some villain hoes on the side. But me and Ginyu, you know, like he's my first boo.
Yeah.
He my boo.
No, I
He my boo.
Yeah.
the other thing I want to talk about, just real quick, is don't follow the timeline. I know a lot of people are like, they're
Yeah.
going to follow the timeline. I think they should go all over the place.
Yeah, they should.
Because
Why
of
not?
restricting thing. It'll be interesting to see how power levels are going to be introduced because Majin Buu is a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like
Well, and
it'll
that's-
be. Is the attack table going to change?
Well, I think they made. I
Or do you
hope.
think
I
they'll
hope
just
They
they
had the, they had the
high
bigger
all the
scouter
time,
though
like,
back in the
you
last
know.
game. They had that massive
Right.
scouter table.
But this one here that they did, it's 1.6 million plus, and part of me almost hopes they just keep it like that because
there could be a
I
lot
mean,
of unfair advantages.
right at a certain point, unless they somehow print new personalities. You know, if you're going to be using a Vegeta deck or a Gohan deck against a Boo,
I hope that
and you're at
they'll
level
start-
1, he's at level 1, it's like 18 plus 5. Oh, I'm down here.
Oops.
This is plus
I-
12 if you're at this, so
Right.
it's 18
Yeah.
stages. That to
That-
me
that
at level
makes
1 is a little
I
unfair.
hope that what they can do to fix people is they can keep Frieza level 3 and 4 in the next set, like
Yeah.
Rare level 2, 1, and you
Right.
can adjust things that way. Like
True.
you can make Vegeta a little bit bigger, or like just re-release a whole other Vegeta set, like,
That's
and you can mix and match if you so choose. Like,
Was the old game did that. The old game
Right.
did a lot of like you had a. I think Vegeta originally was he was in the middle. Like you can make him a villain or a hero.
Really?
In the original game, he could be a villain or a hero.
and that's cool. That's like
Right, you got to choose, and like you could only run villain cards or hero cards depending. And then the other thing I hope they do is in the original game you could run main personalities as allies because I think it'd be great to have a game where if somehow they figured out with your. It's okay, I love Sega. Do you guys love Sega? We love Sega. But if for some reason they had maybe their level 1 would be your ally at all times, and somehow balanced it out, I think it'd be cool to have a Goku battle with Krillin as your ally, or
yeah,
you
or just
know,
release them as
or
allies.
or maybe a separate ally card.
just
yeah,
have an ally
exactly.
that's actually Krillin. You know,
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
instead of Yamcha.
Ugh.
You know what, Yamcha? You know,
He's not too
they
bad
didn't
when you
put
get
him too
down.
hard.
They
He's not a
didn't.
bad card.
And TM
TM
is
is also
pretty
very
good. Chaozu, he's
Chaozu blows up, goes back to
Nobody
deck. That's what he
fetches hero
does.
allies though, so
no.
I would have.
sorry guys. Nobody wants to come find you.
Except for Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi is the one
Chi-Chi
hero
is
ally if you're
pretty
running
good.
Goku or Trunks or
Put her in there.
yeah, you just put her in there and just go overpower attack, go stop resistance.
Yeah. Something I think that they also screwed up was not putting in more, like, I guess what's the word, like more diverse allies, because you essentially have the same thing in both things. It's like
Sort
you've
of.
got one that stops one that
Draws a
does
card.
ridiculous stuff, one that draws a
Yeah.
card, one that stops
This
even
is
more
again,
crap.
It's the first set though. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They're-
I'm hoping they fix that in the next one.
Add more, and they'll add more diversity. That's where
Yeah.
you know for all intents and purposes when you look down at it, this set 1 is
fantastic.
of any game
It's
I've played is
really
super
good.
solid because I've been part of set 1s in games where it's like
Let's talk about Magic Set.
oh
Granted,
God.
that was
Ah,
100,000
jeez.
years ago.
Sure.
Yeah.
Card games weren't around, so they had no idea what they were
I
doing.
remember back in the day, Black Lotus.
Black Lotus, oh God, it's $1 billion. But no, I mean, but
No,
in
it
this
was
day and age, you know, new games. Well, and Weiss Schwartz was a new game that came out.
Oh,
Even
yeah,
Vanguard
Weiss
when it
Schwartz.
came out,
Yeah.
their set 1s were not, in my opinion,
No.
as solid. And we've got newer card games coming out now that aren't. But
Yu-Gi-Oh! Set 1.
But I think Panini's done. I mean, I think for all intents and purposes, even with all the whining, I think they've
Yeah.
done well. I think I guess my main thing I'd say was just continue to improve,
Yeah.
continue
Give
to
us
add things
more
to other
cards.
things. Yeah,
I don't
give
want
us.
to play Ginyu, guys.
Oh.
I just want to win.
No,
Something I really hope they do in the future, though. When they have their first giant OP tournament, like
Right.
Panini-sponsored event, please, new anger swords.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah,
go to
the
six.
anger.
And
Six.
could they
Blue Mastery.
be like fantastic? Like they need
Like
to be like a different color
you
on the
know,
inside,
yeah,
like
silver on the inside.
black
Yeah, it's
here,
hard to
red
see.
here. You know, I can't read that.
Some glowing,
Yeah.
maybe. I'm down. You know, like LED mod that. Bro.
And then I can't wait because I know that we're gonna get a plastic AT table. We're gonna get one. Like we had that scouter thing in the last game. There was the giant thing and like
More
the little scouter
playmats.
thing. More
Yeah,
playmats.
I
I
love
love
the
the
play
Dragon
I
Ball
love the
Playmat.
new one
Yeah.
though. The
Oh,
one that's
man.
out right now though. I really want one of those.
Yeah.
Really want one of those. Manhattan.
We come for that playmat, man.
Okay.
It's
We're gonna
ours.
take it.
Like I know you want it, but like
Take
one of us
your
is gonna have
playmat
it.
from you and put it in our sanitary.
Yeah.
I might just buy one online. Like screw it.
No, you have to earn it. That's a
I
badge.
did earn it.
it's a
I
badge.
worked the hours to get the money to buy it.
No, it's a literal badge. There's a small metal pin. You have to wear it on your chest. It's
I got
really
one.
awkward, but you gotta do it. So,
I want one.
Yeah, it's a great game.
yep.
That's
4
great.
sets, sideboard.
Well, it's got me,
Yeah.
like I said, it's got me to change from one game that I was playing competitively for the past year and a half, which is Vanguard. But I still play, but it's gotten me to, like, I'm maining this game and I'm playing through it, and I think that speaks a lot to it. And I think as we can say for all of us, we've been longtime card game
Oh,
players.
God,
It's
yeah.
not just, oh, we
Since
fell
I
into this
was-
game as the first one we played. We played Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Vanguard and all sorts of them, and Hearthstone.
Yes.
There
Oh
you
God,
go.
Hearthstone.
And I think that speaks to the game. If you've been playing card games as long as we have, and then you play a game like this and you enjoy it,
Holy crap, this game's awesome.
Right, exactly.
It's
Because
really
I
good.
played Magic for. Oh, well, Yu-Gi-Oh's heard of all, like everybody.
Right.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
everyone's got
I
some.
played Magic.
No.
Tried to grind that life. It wasn't worth it.
Yep.
You know, I played
and then you just play
Hearthstone.
Commander for fun.
Played
right?
Hearthstone. No, I hate that.
You hate
Don't get me
Commander?
started on
Oh
Commander.
man, right.
Commander
No.
is like, you know, it's like it's like a lot like religion. Everyone has their own opinion on how
Right,
it should
right.
go, and if you don't agree with them, you
Yeah.
can't hang out with them. Like
Yeah.
that's how you play.
So
Commander.
Commander's like the Scientology of Magic.
I mean, yeah, it's like the.
Okay, okay.
Let's not go to Utah.
Let's
Remember the
talk about that.
Mormons?
I played a lot of
Yeah.
card games. I mean, and it's done very well. Like it's a different. It's totally different. Like
Yeah.
Hearthstone and Magic have their similarities. You know, they all kind of, you know, they all did Monster. You know, they all have Yu-Gi-Oh. They're all kind of. There are some things that line up. Dragon Ball Z. You got
Yeah.
physical energies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like
completely
it's
different.
totally. I block stuff. Like.
And you're right, they didn't copy another card game, which
It's
I'm glad. They
significant to
tried
its
to
own,
make
like,
its
it's-
own
Yeah.
thing.
And
I mean,
it's
they
good.
they copied their own card game.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing I meant to mention earlier too about how like Magic and all that stuff. You know, they've got all of these energy-based methods of paying for things.
Right.
That's probably the best thing about physicals. Is the fact that you know, it's like you can't. You don't have any mana, bro. Like, what are you gonna do?
That limits your
What are you
resources.
gonna do?
Right.
Like, physicals need to get a boost. Like, they need to. Well, not a boost, but they
Not
need
too
to.
boosted.
No. They
They just
need.
need a little.
They need a little.
Well, like
thing.
focus attack's insane. That was a cool mechanic, but I
Oh, it's all the same. I don't know.
I think that
I hate
covers
it.
think it does.
everything we want to complain about.
Church of Ginyu, we'll be
Church of
starting
Ginyu.
it soon. It'll be,
We'll get
good.
hats with horns. You guys.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Hats
That'd be
with
nice.
horns? What about hoodies with horns? Like, so we showed
Like
up to
you
the
put the
tournament.
hood up and the
Well,
horns.
that's for
Yeah.
winter. That's for winter. But like,
You
if you're
just-
in there, it's like
No,
that.
because you show up to the tournament, they're like, oh yeah, these guys just walk in in these hoodies.
with horns on.
And then just
That kind of be
Give
balling.
me-
Well, hopefully we'll be back when set 2 hits.
It's set 2.
When
Okay,
set
we'll
2
set
hits.
review.
Oh my god, when set
Talk
2
about
hits.
some cards we really like. How they'll affect
Well,
the deck.
yeah,
Okay.
that'll be great. We'll definitely be back, and when they make some weird errata or some weird promo card, we'll be back to definitely
I'll talk as much shit as I need to.
I
yeah.
know, right?
Bet.
I will complain.
No, I love the game.
Yeah,
It's
it's
really
it's
Just
good.
complain about
It's a lot of fun. Like it also got me into a whole new different group of people.
Yeah,
So
One
got
thing
me
I
out
love
of,
about
like-
competitive games.
Yeah. Like I
Like-
knew you kind of before. Like I was, yeah, it's that guy. Yeah.
And
But
one thing that's really cool too is like, this is just a whole other subject. This is like bonus. If you guys decide.
bonus
This
rounds.
is bonus bullshit.
Big letters.
Like
right
it's
there.
cool, like just nerd communities in
I'll put it
general.
down.
Like when you like, because a lot of the communities cross over to certain things. Like I don't want to go to the fighting game community.
Yeah.
So you guys can
There's
watch
people
it, but-
fighting down there right
Yeah,
now.
it's
there's people,
awesome.
Like
They
when
have-
you
oh,
go
yeah,
down
play
here and
some more
Smash and
Smash.
Street
Hell
Fighter, just
yeah.
getting at it down there.
Yeah.
And you come to find out, hey, you guys play those games too. Come over. You know,
Yeah.
like it's cool because like I know who you guys are. I know you guys. I knew you before because you played Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know you. I don't want to be that much.
Sorry.
But it's just fun to meet new people. That's one the biggest thing I like about Magic is I had friends in other states because I would travel FUTQ all the time.
Okay.
I was just like, that was like even if I didn't do so, like I O2 with FUTQ, I was like, I'm gonna hang out with all my friends.
Yeah, that's good record, guys.
It's cool, like that social aspect, and that's why I love competitive. And one big reason why I love competitive gaming is you meet a lot of cool people, a lot of really intelligent people.
Yeah.
That's why I
all
like
walks
going.
of life. Like none of these people are in my house right now. It's so different. Like it's cool.
Well, how else would you have met them? That's really.
Right. That's the other
Yeah.
thing too. Like we
It's
have
such a
nothing else in common.
good thing. Just brings so many people together. Like it's awesome.
It reminds me, it reminds me when I was growing up of like arcades. Arcades
Oh,
were
yeah.
arcades were that place where you would be.
That's how I know all my friends. Like,
Yeah.
that's how it all started. Like,
You would, but see, like you would go to
Arcades
this
and comic
arcades,
shops.
like
Yep.
you would. You go to an arcade
Yep.
or a comic shop, and you would not know this person, from Adam Reeve, and then you
Might
go
seem
in and
like
put
at
a
school or
quarter.
something. You're like, oh, that's the guy. We go to class
Yeah, and
together,
then you
like-
would meet them there and hang out, and you would kind of form that kinship of that. Oh wow, like I'd play somebody and they'd be playing me Street Fighter or Darkstalkers. Like, oh you play? Oh yeah, I play this.
Yeah.
And then you get to know them, and it's like you said, it's really funny because then you go, wow, I would have never met you. And the best part about it is even though we played the card game, like I enjoy hanging out with these guys, just talking, BSing about this or BSing about other things, and that's where. Like I said before, I encourage you guys who are a part of the community. If you guys are small, I mean, we started
salt
from,
behind. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Testament,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm a salty person. Come a long way.
Well, it'll happen. And, in a game,
I
it'll
try
happen.
not to.
It'll happen. You get you get a
happens.
bad draw.
Drama.
You just get you get punched in the face by physical saying. You're
Yeah,
like, dang, I lost.
give me a couple days, then we'll talk about saying. Like,
Yeah, and you'll be fine. But
It's fussy little
you get over it.
52 stages with 3
Okay,
cards.
That was nothing compared to
3
when I
cards.
faced him.
8, 19.
I faced him when I helped build it. I helped change Jeff's deck, and I put the physical attack that destroys 2 allies.
Here's how it did 19. What happened?
He's saying
same
close-line.
card? Oh,
That's
yeah.
what
yeah,
no, it's the
double.
same.
Oh.
So it's doing 8 stages, double, plus 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He threw. I'm telling you, he would like. I would.
Jesus.
Let's just say it's another painful story, but like you were saying, yeah, you get salty, but the thing about our community is we have a lot of good people who are genuinely good to be around and are genuinely drama free. So if you guys are a small community, build it up, nourish it. Yeah, leave the drama behind and just enjoy playing a card game. Oh, except Manhattan. I mean, we're coming here to destroy you. Are you?
If I had a gauntlet, I'd throw it at the camera.
I like how James is like, not only are we going to take your stuff, we're literally going to destroy your community. When we're gone, no one will play. We'll make you hate each other. Dang, dude, that's
I'm not actually.
you know, that's rough, but I agree.
No,
We're
what's
gonna
gonna
do that.
happen is I'm gonna show up and lose, and I'll be like, man, this is all on video. Got it. Okay.
I guarantee you, if we lose, I will lose all that footage. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's on video.
What?
That's a delete YouTube.
I went by a magnet
You guys are
factory
really
and just
good at this
erased
game,
it
by the
all.
way.
I'm sorry, but GG.
I mean, you said it best the other night. We were talking. It's like if you have beef with someone in your group, like you said,
Talk
just
to 'em.
go to a coffee shop, talk it out. Like you're adults, right? I mean, if it's a little kid and you're an adult, like whatever, it's a little kid, get over it. But if you're 2 consenting adults, wink,
Oh, wait.
just go somewhere and hash it out. Like you don't, it dawns on him. You don't need to keep that crap because it's just gonna build up over time. And then you're gonna get to the point where it's like, I hate that guy. And that guy's gonna be like, I hate that guy.
Right.
And it's gonna bridge a gap between you and the rest of the community. So you're not gonna get that close to this.
And that's the thing that really sucks.
It sucks.
You, but,
I've had it happen.
because
It's
then again,
terrible.
you go, what did I lose a friendship over?
Yeah.
Cardboard.
Woo.
I think it's a little deeper.
Paper.
It is, but you know what I mean. But you look over
Because
it.
feelings
It
get
boils
into
down
it.
to
It's pride,
Yeah.
but you look over it and you look at in the greater scope of life, and you go, was that really worth me having pride about
Yeah.
losing it over a game?
You just gotta be the bigger person and just let it go. Like, I hate to quote Frozen.
Oh God! Oh, I don't know.
No.
You are gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it.
No.
You're gonna hate it. Stop.
I hate Frozen.
No,
I hate
know,
Frozen.
We hate you
No,
right now.
no,
I
no.
know.
I'm gonna leave you in Lawrence.
But
We
you
will
do-
leave you in
you
Lawrence.
just have to do
You
what
won't
I
be part of the
just
Lawrence
said.
community.
You just have to do what I
Or
just
Manhattan,
said. And
or
just
whatever, yeah.
get over it. Like, you're an adult.
Yeah.
Well, you were gonna say let it go, weren't you?
I already said it. I said let it go,
Okay.
and then I hate to sound like Frozen, but you just have to do what I just said.
Because we will dress you up as Elsa and leave you on the
Can't we
streets.
do
No,
Like I
then
said.
Nick will be on
Right
that,
now?
and I'll be bad.
Oh, that would be that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what Nick said on his Facebook post after this. It's
Okay,
really funny.
okay, good.
I can't say it on camera.
You can't say it.
I can't say it on
It's
camera.
secrets. It's secrets. So,
It's way too funny.
well, anyway,
yeah.
yeah,
That's it. We're just
That's pretty
three guys
much
who
it.
play DBZ.
that's right.
I think we got it figured out.
What we do.
You never know.
We never know.
Never know. Like
But we just like
saying.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks for joining us.
Brian,
Yeah.
Man and Beast. I just play card games.
And
He just
I'm
play
just
card
here.
Yeah, whatever. We'll see you
Well,
guys.
Just walked in.
Whatever you
It's
do.
just like, holy crap, a camera.
Yeah, okay. See you guys.
Deuces. Oh man.